Alright, so good morning. First of all, it's 10:52 Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know I'm an East Coaster, technically a Midwester, but whatever. I can't get this thing to stay up to save my life. And that's my daughter, y'all, here in the background. Alright, we're gonna get this together, y'all. So, I'm over here handling business. But at the same time, I want to talk to y'all because I've definitely been going through some stuff, and I did promise to be open with y'all no matter how difficult it was. And baby, for the last 2 months, your girl has been going through it. Basically, ever since I identified the sweat trigger and I did that video, it has been a snowball effect of BS. So the first thing that happened was after I identified the trigger, I stopped working out. That was the first thing to go. After I stopped working out, then it progressed into me not taking my products consistently, my TLC products, the total life changing stuff. Then that morphed into me not being into my word consistent. Like, it started to snowball. Once I stopped working out, everything else kind of stopped behind it. But it was the catalyst for it was discovering that I didn't like sweat. Now, a lot of y'all that's on the out looking in probably like, what the hell? Sweat did all of this for you? The thing is, when I was a child, I was molested and raped. And when I was actually being raped, the guy that raped me was huge. And he was sweating all over me. So for me, like, for a lot of people on the outside looking in, you may say, oh, that sounds so silly. But once you get the actual backstory to it, it makes a lot of sense. So for me, I have never, ever, like, since that traumatic experience, sweat is a no-go for me. Now that I'm in this phase of my life where I'm finally trying to really heal, because let's be clear, that incident of molestation and rape, that happened to me back when I was 11 going on 12, somewhere around there. But the thing is, I also was diagnosed with dissociation. So at the time, I went through all the motions. I was going through therapy. But y'all got to understand, I was disconnected mentally. I was dissociated from the entire experience. My feelings, my thoughts, even my memories were, to a point, I dissociated myself from most of it, almost all of it. I created a alternate reality for myself. And basically, I lived in controlled environments from that day forward up until, boom, 6 years ago, I had a child. And through being a new mother, going through new experiences, dealing with her, that's when I discovered and my eyes were open to the fact that, girl, you living in a bubble. You live in closed off, you living in controlled environments, you literally trust nobody. I didn't discover how bad my separation was until my child made me have to click back into reality. And so fast forward to all this stuff now, for the last, I would say 2 years, I've been consistently trying to just be a better version of myself. It's been 2 years because this is hard work. This is very hard work. And anybody that's on this path, that's starting this path, thinking about getting on this path, do it. Do it. I don't care if it takes you 20 years. Do it. The level of understanding that you gain for yourself, about yourself, I can't describe it. It's just like same thing with the peace I got. I have been able to come to peace with a lot of things and a lot of situations. I've been able to, like, not place blame in the wrong places. And so for me, these last couple months has just been a reminder that honestly, I have got to keep fighting no matter what. Yes, I can drop off of my consistency, or I can drop off doing this, that, or the third, but the goal needs to be to get back on, to get back there. So I don't care like how many times you feel like, oh, well, I've tried to get right and I always do this or I always do that. It's like the story of the people who go to rehab a million times. And, you know, we all see those stories depicted on TV. I'm not even really talking about nobody personally, but we've seen enough TV to see how on television you always have that one family member that's going in and out of rehab, in and out of rehab. And it's really not until they want it for themselves that it really clicks and that it works. Not saying that they may not have wanted it the other times, but something is different about that final time, that final shift. Anybody who's overcome any sort of addiction or issue, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you've successfully been out of it long enough, you understand that it's a mentality that you have got to like switch to be able to get to that point where you like, you know what? This is really it. And for me, seeing my child start to live in controlled environments, that's what was it for me. I was like, girl, we gotta get this together. We can't be living in controlled environments raising a kid like that, because ultimately, if I would have never seen the error in my ways, my child would be growing up super sheltered. That is no way. Like, we want to protect our kids from everything. What parent doesn't? But at the end of the day, realistically, the best way to save your child is to expose your child. If your child is well equipped for certain situations, they are less likely to just feel overwhelmed or like they in over their head when general life comes up. And then not only that, they will have survival skills. You as a parent will be able to trust that when your child gets into a pickle or a rough spot in life, that they can actually navigate a solution rather than always needing a way out. And so that's where I'm at. These last couple months, I have snowballed off the map, wasn't doing the podcast, wasn't consistently being in my word, none of that. And I had a moment because over these past couple of weeks, my consistency has been attacked with my job. And I'm now in a point where it's just a mess. And honestly, and I'm putting this out there not to, put my business out on Front Street, but I know it's other people dealing with this. I, for a long time, have always been the strong friend, the one who is always willing to help out, always there for everybody else. Y'all rarely see me down, rarely see me emotional or crying about something. I'm that friend, the strong friend. But can I say it's time out for all that BS? The strong friend got problems too. Period. We trying to uphold a whole lot in order to be able to have that strength to help uphold you as a friend or as a family member or whatever the case is. So I put these videos out there because I know it's other people like me. Y'all strong friends. Y'all the ones that's always got it together. Don't nobody think that y'all going through it. But the thing is, mental illness is real. And that's a reason why I don't talk about what I'm going through, honestly, because there's a lot of stigma around mental illnesses. Since I've had my daughter, I have been battling on and off with depression, in the worst way possible. But the problem is, I'm a high functioning depressed person. So I have high functioning depression. So for me, I'm not necessarily laying around in the bed all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily doing this, that, or the third, but my stuff, my BS will come out in different ways. So the last time I was feeling like this was when my daughter was one. She was around 1 year old. And I decided to make the rash decision for us to move 1,200 miles away to Connecticut, from Ohio to Connecticut. And I did the move with pure intentions. I genuinely wanted to start my life over. I didn't feel any connection to none of my family. I felt very little connection to, most of my friends. I only had maybe one or two friends that I was really, really close with. One or two family members that I was really, really close with. And for me at that time, that wasn't enough to keep me back here in Ohio. So in my mind, because I wasn't thinking about the bigger picture, just more so the immediate, I was like, hey, this is an opportunity to start fresh, to start new. I went out there. I was able to find work really easy. And from there, networked, hooked up with a few people, and boom, had a new life in a whole new state. And honestly, it was nothing but God's grace and mercy that covered me on that decision. Truly, nothing else but God's grace and mercy that covered me on that decision, because so many things could have went wrong. So many things could have went left, but he kept me intact and brought me back. So, for those of you who don't have a relationship with God, or y'all don't understand how other people are able to have this intimate relationship with a being that you can't see, I encourage you to try it. Try it. When you cannot depend on humanity, you can always depend on God. Period. And for a person like me, who has so little trust in humanity, my trust issues are horrible. So for me, God is necessary. I have to be able to trust something. Living in a world where you trust absolutely nothing, it's hard. It's hard. Because it makes it that much harder to make a decision, because you don't know. You don't trust nobody. You don't want to give nobody nothing that may lead to them, hurting you or doing something to you. So listen, totally understand. But my whole point of this video today is basically just saying, listen, we all going through our own stuff, especially right now with this coronavirus, people being quarantined. I don't know how it is in y'all cities and states, but in Cincinnati, Ohio, we definitely have a spike going on right now. So people are catching it still. Stuff is open, but people's mental health is not okay right now. People stuck in the house. Some people don't have a job. Some people don't have no money. People are going through it, because at the end of the day, no matter what scenario you are, your bills still got to get paid. Your kid just still got to get taken care of. Your health is still priority. I'm at a point now where, even though I'm feeling bad, even though every day at this point is a struggle, I am fighting. And I told my mom earlier today, or yesterday as well, I'm exhausted. I don't know if it's the depression or because I'm fighting the depression, but I could sleep the whole day away. And my general state is, I generally feel okay. I'm happy. I'm not sad or nothing like that. But because I know I'm consciously fighting the dark side, I'm tired as hell, y'all. Tired as hell. So for today, my personal goal for today is to fuel up, basically be like a spiritual leech. I don't care, sermons, songs, reading the word, I don't care what it is. I am getting my positivity today. When you are fighting against depression, I will say definitely gaining or getting a spiritual relationship with God, learning Jesus for yourself is important and imperative to the success of what you're doing. Because if you go in there fighting on your own, you are not enough by yourself. Because you have got to think about this logically. If you are fighting depression, you are fighting yourself. Keep up. This is real. You are fighting yourself. There's good you and there's depressed you. I don't want to call it bad you because, you know, you make up one whole person. And overall, we want to believe that you as a whole person are good, bad included. So you have your good side and then you have your dark side. And your dark side want to sleep all day. Your dark side is telling you you're not worth a damn, you ain't nothing, you're not worthy, this, that. Your dark side is going to say everything dark, negative, whatever. It's going to do what it does because we know how it acts. But the good side of you, this is the side that we have more control over than what we think. It's choices. And it's hard choices, but it's choices nonetheless. Your good side, you have got to keep your good side fueled up. The negative side, been eating for years. That thing is obese. So you ain't got to worry about the heavyweight champ over here. They've been doing their thing for a long time. You got to worry about fueling that good side. The more goodness, the more light, the more God you get on the inside of you, the more strength you have to not only fight off the dark side of yourself, but to actually still have energy to keep on moving, keep on going, keep on being about something. So if y'all know what I'm doing, if y'all know what I'm talking about, and if y'all in the same spot, I would just encourage y'all, fill up. Get yourself around people who are positive. Today is not the day for negative Nancy's. Listen, my personal friends and family included, if y'all call me today and y'all got something negative to say, I don't care if it's about me, about you, about whatever negative, I am definitely gonna shut you down. Okay, because today I don't have the capacity for it. And that's what y'all have got to start doing as well. Get bold enough to command what exactly you need for your day. Don't worry about other people's obligations and needs and wants or whatever the case is. Worry about you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not well enough, nothing else that you're responsible for is going to get taken care of in the proper way anyways. Kids included. Tell your kids what you need from them today. Today is a this kind of day, and mommy needs you to chill, or mommy needs you to do X, Y, and Z. Tell your kids, tell your spouse, tell your family, tell your friends. Command what you need and stand on that. Period. You have got to teach other people how to treat you. And it starts with how you treat yourself. So if you are made top priority in your life, you will teach other people to make you a priority. Period. So I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. I don't care how bad you feel, fight it. Fight it. And if you don't think you have enough strength to fight it, guess what? We have an adversary, the Holy Spirit. And that gives us all the strength we need to do whatever. Whatever. The faith in God is not the problem. The faith in yourself is what needs to come up a little bit more. Trust God, but also trust you. I love y'all. Have a good day.